Hi, I'm Caleb, founder and CEO of Circular. We are a scalable solution to the climate crisis, food quality, and food insecurity. Almost half of all food in the US is wasted. That's $160 billion lost every year. And half of everything in the landfill is biodegradable. And we continue to carve more holes to put more trash every year. When the food goes to the dump, it rots into methane gas, a greenhouse gas 80 times more powerful than CO2. We always think cars or electricity, but 10% of all CO2 emissions are from food waste. And to grow that food, prices of synthetic fertilizers have skyrocketed in the past year alone, up to 7 times what they were 2 years ago. And those synthetic fertilizers kill the soil, which means farmers have to use more and more every year to keep the same crop yield. Not to mention these synthetics ruin waterways, nitrify our oceans, and are themselves petroleum derived, and when applied, emit nitrous oxide into the air, 300 times more powerful than CO2 at warming the earth. Oh, and the same time that all that food is being wasted, 1 in 8 Americans doesn't have enough to eat. What is one thing we can do that attacks all of these problems at once? Let me introduce you to the Circular solution. Circular is a for-profit social enterprise focused on reversing climate change and food insecurity. We pick up food waste from restaurants every day, convert it to our 2 products of rich organic fertilizer and insect protein, which we sell to farmers, home gardeners, and other retail consumers. Then we partner with those growers to donate healthy organic meals to ones in our communities without enough to eat. So how does the business model work? Plain and simple, we use the food waste to feed our livestock of earthworms. And then we sell 2 products, initially targeting B2C, the earthworms themselves and their castings, that's their poop, as a fertilizer. Per processing center that services 100 restaurants, this can generate $5 million revenue yearly with a 42% profit margin. But why these products? What makes them so valuable? A recently growing body of hundreds of scientific research studies shows that worm castings are the greatest natural organic fertilizer known to man. One recent headline on a leading scientific research site said that earthworm castings have the potential to completely replace synthetic fertilizers. And the LA Times published an entire centerfold article just 2 months ago about worms and worm castings. Worm castings increase crop yields up to 2.5 times, improve the nutritional value of food, reduce plant disease and pest pressure, decrease the amount of water needed to grow crops, which helps with our mega droughts, and they actively sequester carbon out of the atmosphere back into the soil where it belongs. High-dollar crops such as wine grapes and cannabis have already recognized the value in worm castings and have been using huge quantities, but they can't get enough. There's just not enough volume yet. And the live worms themselves, well, of course, they've been used as fishing bait forever, but there are continually growing markets for worms used to process food waste, to feed pets and zoo animals, and the largest opportunity is to sustainably feed livestock, such as aquaculture fish farms. Okay, so worms are it, but why now? Well, here in California, it's now the law. Starting this year, anyone who produces any food waste at all must recycle it in some way. That's commercial, residential, restaurant, grocers, you and me. And as a result, fees for waste hauling continue to increase. And many other states are following California's suit. And again, in opposite of other current economic indicators, fertilizer costs are rising rapidly right now due to increasing demand to feed a growing world population, but also because of the increasing cost of oil, supply chain problems, and the war in Ukraine cutting off fertilizer producers. And people care about these problems. 70% of all adults say they care about climate change and that they prefer to spend their money on products and companies impacting social issues. So now is the time for a truly circular solution to our food system. But is the market there? Well, the total combined market for organic fertilizer and insect protein in 2022 is $17 billion, and that's slated to increase at a CAGR of 27% to $96 billion by 2027. Here in Southern California, our initial target market, there's currently demand for 28 million worth of these products. And as a note, all of these figures were taken from research reports created before these mega price increases. So multiply all this somewhere between 3 and 7x. So how do we plan to get these customer dollars? Our initial beachhead target customers are super gardeners and small organic farmers. We'll sell to them either with direct sales in person via our online storefront or online marketplaces such as Amazon. We already have customers waiting to buy pallets full from us when we have the product available. And from there, we'll expand our reach with retailers such as garden stores and nurseries, big box stores, and online retailers. Now, Circular intends to come into the market as a disruptor. So we know we're competing with a few different large existing sectors, but where they're all limited in scope, size, product offering, scalability, and sustainability, Circular shines. So what exactly are our competitive advantages? Well, with the rising cost of synthetic fertilizers, Circular provides an excellent cost-effective alternative to farmers. The synthetic ammonia or urea that they currently use only contains nitrogen, but they have to buy separate fertilizers for other nutrients such as phosphorus, potassium, calcium, zinc, and others. Circular worm castings have all of it in a bioavailable, certified organic form that gets into plant leaves within hours, not days or weeks. And we contain billions of microbes that help build soil life, improving soil growth performance and biodiversity for years to come. And Circular is standardizing a fragmented market, currently comprised of small garage or barn operations. But while they're asleep in their little gardens, we're building the infrastructure to grow and rapidly scale. We spoke to an executive at a large agricultural fertilizer company, and he told us that they were interested in worm castings back in the 90s, and they had great results with experiments on traditional ag applications. He sourced them from a local worm guy and asked, "Can you get me a truckload of this stuff?" Guy says, "Of course." But then the next month he said, "Okay, we need another truckload." That'll be another 6 months. We can't produce that much. So the executive told us it was high quality, but they abandoned worm castings as a solution because for 10,000-acre farms, they needed by the trainloads full, and they could never get enough. So Circular can finally provide that volume at scale. But we don't scale with mega facilities or in the middle of nowhere. We regionally localize, creating small facilities through every urban and suburban environment, reducing supply chain problems, improving local economies, and minimizing carbon and financial footprint. In 5 years, we plan to have made a huge impact towards 9 of the UN Sustainable Development Goals, in particular, climate action, sustainable cities, and zero hunger. In 5 years, we'll have diverted a total of 168,000 tons of waste from landfills, preventing carbon emissions of 1.2 megatons, and fed 17 million meals to the hungry in our local communities. And unlike nonprofits, Circular is a public benefit corporation B Corp. So we're financially self-sustaining with a cumulative total of 800 million revenue and 300 million profit after 5 years. Here's an example of our 5-year projected pro forma financials. And due to limited presentation time, if you're interested in more, please contact me after. But we have a 10-year long-term vision of the perfect circle, an ambitious, regenerative, circular economy across the entire food and agricultural system. Who are we? I'm a UC Master Gardener, avid micro homesteader. I've worked on multiple farms, and I'm very passionate that regenerative agriculture is the solution to humanity's current largest problems. I'm also formerly a structural engineer, team lead, and construction project manager for 14 years, but I've left that career to go full-time on Circular to truly make an impact for our planet. Our team has won the UC Irvine New Venture Competition. We're accepted into 2 incubators, including one for social enterprises, RevHub OC, and we've attracted an incredible team of advisors ranging from ag fund founders, soil fertility gurus, finance, sales and marketing, and startup experts. To help us make this incredible impact with a circular food system, we're currently raising $500,000 in pre-seed funding to construct our pilot facility, begin source collection, and start turning the food waste into our products. We're searching for as much non-dilutive capital as possible, but we're also interested in climate and environmentally focused investors as well. If you know of any foundations, grants, investors, or other programs that could help us, please reach out at my contact info shown on screen. And the last thing I'll say is we're also looking for one more strong partner to join our team as a co-founder, someone with a green heart who wants to make a difference, preferably someone with sales and marketing or biz dev experience. Again, I'm Caleb, and I'm happy to introduce you to Circular.